We have an episode in the works showing the transmission going in, but this week we thought we'd share a quick preview of the progress Steve has made with wiring up and starting the engine.
This is the main mounting panel for the relays and wiring and fuse block for the StuG. Drew myself up a little freehand wiring diagram for all the accessories and stuff because it helps take an abstract theory that's in my head and put it into practice and turn it into wires. The main circuits are ignition, which also provides power to the fuel pump and the fuel solenoid for the diesel engine. We've got the starter motor, a relay for the lighting system, and also a spare relay, and then just a big heavy duty fusible link, heavy duty power relay, and some smaller fuses for the little individual accessories. Things like the lights, so we've got a front clearance light plus a rear convoy light on there, plus things like the fuel pump, alternator, fuel solenoid for the engine. I made myself a little nest.
Little rat's nest?
Little... Come on, not quite a rat.
No.
This fits up inside here with some little rubber mounts, and there's a little nicely fabricated metal cover that goes over here with some of these clips so that it's out of the way.
How different would this system be to what would have originally been in there?
Obviously no plastic, but you'd have things like Bakelite. Laminated wood as well was commonly used as insulators. The wires themselves had a lot of fabric insulation on them, and they wouldn't have used relays because relays like this didn't really exist, so they just used heavy switches for switching accessories and things like that. And of course the old style fuses were nowhere near as reliable.
You blow a fuse, you know about it back then.
Yes, you know about it, but I think you could probably put something like a small caliber empty cartridge into some of those fuses
and they'd work. Yeah.
To get it going.
And it all just plugs in, just like that, huh?
All plugs together.
What type of engine is this, and is its output similar to the original?
It's a Cat 3208 V8 diesel engine. I think this came out of a Ford Louisville truck. We've got this engine in a lot of our other builds, and we like to keep commonality so that spare parts, knowledge, blah, 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 fitting is all the same. In terms of power output, this thing actually has a lot less power than what the original HL120, because that's a V12 petrol, which I think made 300 horsepower or something, where this thing's rated to about 180, 185 horsepower, but this has tons more torque than what the petrol Maybach had. Torque is a twisting force, right? So you need an engine which is good at shifting large mass, and if you've got an engine that has a lot of power and a lot of torque, it means it can do that very, very quickly. But if you have an engine that has less power but more torque, it's good at carrying the load, but it's slow to accelerate, and it just doesn't perform. The performance characteristics are different. Back in the day with the original type of engine, to clear obstacles, drive at full speed, you put incredible load on everything, where this thing is a lot more lazy, and it'll be able to do it far easier. So I've just done some temporary connections here to enable us to start the engine. So I've got an ignition switch and a light switch, and I've got a starter button, and this warning light here is for engine oil pressure, and this warning light here is for the alternator battery charging or not charging. So first thing we'll do is switch on the ignition. Now,
Okay.
warning lights on for oil pressure because the engine's not running. Warning lights on that the alternator's not charging because it's not running either. So now we'll crank the engine and see if it'll start. Oh, just before I do that, remember to take this off because it's not as if we haven't had any issues with this in the past, have we?
We won't name names.
We won't name names because it can happen to anyone. It's happened to me many a time. 1, 2, 3. Something I changed from before is stopping me from turning the engine off.
Ah. Hey, but sounds
It
good.
sounds good, so got a little bit of troubleshooting. So yes, I'm not able to turn the engine off from the ignition switch, so something's holding that circuit on. But sounds healthy, gave it the obligatory rev tune,
Yeah.
and it sounds pretty good.
Sounds great, Steve.
Yep,
Nice.
sounds good.